Hello?
Jake Paul's world crumbled to pieces after he was arrested, marking an ultimate fall from grace. Years of building a brand as the loudest, most outrageous YouTuber and wannabe boxing champ went up in smoke with one arrest. This wasn't some minor mishap like speeding or a petty fight. No, Jake's facing serious charges that could keep him locked up with no bail. His darkest secrets have been dragged into the public eye, and everything is spiraling out of control. To make it worse, nobody is shedding a tears for him. The cause of Jake Paul's arrest? It all ties back to the infamous press conference on August 18th at the Jacob Javits Center in New York City. What was supposed to be another hype fest for his fight with Mike Tyson quickly turned into a circus. From the moment Jake swaggered onto that stage, something felt off. Known for trash talk, Jake took it too far when he mocked Tyson's illness, saying, "You had to go on your little menopause break and postpone the fight. I was ready before you needed a little break your tummy hurt." The entire room went silent. Even Jake's die-hard fans were probably thinking, did he really just say that? But Jake wasn't done. He puffed his chest and boldly declared, "I'm here to make $40 million and knock out a legend. I don't care about anything else." Forget respect, honor, or the sport itself. Jake was all about money, and Tyson was just another pawn in his game. It was clear Jake wasn't in it to improve his skills or learn from a legend like Tyson. For him, it was always about the headlines and feeding his ego. Meanwhile, Tyson was dealing with real health issues, ulcers to be exact. He could have backed out of the fight, but he didn't. He took a pause, got better, and returned at full strength. But for Jake, Tyson's health didn't matter. His focus was solely on making a profit. Jake's rise in the boxing world has been like a soap opera full of drama and controversies that make you question if any of it's real. While his bravado and social media following have kept him relevant, there have always been whispers, or rather shouts, about the legitimacy of his victories. Critics have called out the sketchiness of Jake's wins, especially the convenient TKOs. Take his fight with Tyron Woodley on August 29, 2021. It ended in a TKO, but fans questioned the sudden stop as if the fight had been staged to protect Jake's undefeated record. Then there was his April 17, 2021 fight against Ben Askren, where another quick TKO left fans wondering what had just happened. It felt like referees were doing everything they could to ensure Jake stayed on his feet. The doubts over his victories weren't just clouds hanging over his career. They were full-blown storms threatening to derail everything. Enter Mike Tyson, a man who's seen it all. When Tyson announced a knockout-only rule for their fight, it was more than a tweak, it was a challenge. Tyson was saying, "Let's see what you're really made of. No shortcuts." But Jake wasn't thrilled. When Tyson made the announcement, the crowd cheered for a real fight, and Jake lost it. He grabbed the mic and unleashed a tirade that had nothing to do with boxing and everything to do with his fragile ego. "Shut up, New York! Boo yourselves, New York!" Jake yelled. "You're just like Mike Tyson. You were good 20 years ago." This wasn't just an outburst, it was a meltdown. The reality of fighting under Tyson's rules, where there would be no room for tricks, had Jake rattled. His usual bravado vanished, replaced by desperation. He had talked a big game during negotiations, but now that he was faced with the reality, he was backpedaling faster than anyone could have imagined. It became clear that Jake wasn't prepared for this fight. Then came the shocking twist: Jake Paul was arrested. The charges, breaching contract and potential fraud, all tangled up in a legal web spun by Tyson's team. The arrest happened swiftly, leaving Jake and everyone else stunned. One minute, he was a carefree YouTuber turned boxer, and the next he was being hauled off, looking like a kid caught stealing candy. But this wasn't the end. Things took another turn when Mike Tyson appeared on Logan Paul's podcast, where he addressed why he was going after Jake so hard. Tyson didn't mince words. He made it clear this wasn't just about a contract, it was personal. This was about respect and sticking to your word. Tyson has always been someone who values integrity, and when Jake disrespected him at the press conference and then tried to back out of their deal, Tyson wasn't having it. But unlike the Tyson of old, who might have let his temper flare, Tyson remained calm. He had learned a thing or two over the years about keeping his cool, even when every instinct was telling him to throw punches. "I'm a straightforward person," Tyson said on the podcast. Jake's trash talk didn't faze him. Tyson's been through too much for that. But what really got under Tyson's skin was Jake's blatant disregard for their agreement. This wasn't just about boxing anymore. For Tyson, it was about being a man of your word. And in Tyson's world, your word is everything. Tyson could have easily let his old self take over, but he didn't. "When that tough guy Mike Tyson comes out, I'm always in handcuffs," Tyson admitted, referencing the part of him that used to settle disputes with his fists. That was the Tyson who ruled the ring, the one who didn't tolerate nonsense. But that Tyson also knew that his temper had gotten him into trouble more times than he could count. He even confessed, "Every time I drink or get ready to fight, I break out in handcuffs." Tyson's past is full of moments where one wrong move sent everything crashing down. So when Jake started acting up, Tyson made a deliberate choice to handle things legally. It wasn't just about keeping Jake in check, it was about keeping his own demons at bay. Tyson's decision to go the legal route was a testament to the man he has become, a fighter who's learned that sometimes the biggest battles are the ones you fight within yourself. Jake's arrest was the culmination of his arrogance and disregard for the people he was dealing with. After mocking Tyson and trying to wriggle out of their deal, Jake's reckless behavior caught up with him. Tyson's response was clear. This wasn't just a boxing match anymore, it was about respect. For years, Jake has built his brand on being controversial, loud, and brash. But now, all that arrogance and ego had led him straight into a situation he couldn't talk his way out of. Tyson, a man who has been through the highest highs and lowest lows, handled the situation with grace. Instead of letting his temper get the best of him, he chose to take the high road. But make no mistake, Tyson wasn't going to let Jake off easy. "He disrespected me, and that's not something I take lightly," Tyson said. The fact that he didn't lash out physically shows just how much Tyson has grown. As for Jake, his fall from grace has been swift and brutal. The legal troubles, the public backlash, and the damaged reputation have left him scrambling to pick up the pieces. The same brash attitude that propelled him to fame is now dragging him down. While some might have expected Tyson to settle things in the ring, he's opted to teach Jake a lesson that goes beyond boxing, a lesson about respect, responsibility, and consequences. And now, as the dust settles, Jake Paul finds himself at a crossroads. He's no longer just a YouTuber dabbling in boxing, he's a man facing serious consequences for his actions. The arrest has left his fans stunned, and the future of his career in doubt. While Jake has always managed to bounce back from controversies, this time might be different. This time, he's up against something bigger than a rival in the ring. He's up against the reality of his own choices. The saga of Jake Paul's rise and fall has been one for the books, full of drama, hype, and controversy.